Hello, welcome to the Menopausal View. How are you? Hello. Give me just 1 second while I get you loaded up over here so I can actually see what you guys are saying, if you guys are there. Oh, la 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 la. Make sure this is turned down. Sound is off. If you are joining us, please make sure that you are sharing the video so that everybody knows that we're here, that we're going live, and that we're having fun, because that's just how we roll, and we're the cool kids on the block. And I have been told that I need to keep talking while I am doing all of this, because you guys get bored while I'm doing this, and I'm trying to learn to be able to do more than one thing at a time. So I'm getting there, I'm doing better, but we need people to help us. So yeah, if you're available and you know techie stuff, we would love to have you. We'd love to have you. We sure would. We sure would. Alrighty. So let's see. So welcome to the Menopausal View. I am Jen, and Jay will be joining us later this afternoon. I cannot wait. We haven't seen each other for at least a week. It's almost 2 weeks now, isn't it, Jocelyn? So we have a special guest today. I would like to introduce you to my beautiful friend, Helena Perry. Say hello, Helena.
Hi there. How is everybody out there?
So Helena and I met years ago, and she is one of my favorite humans on this planet. And let me tell you something about her. Not only does she maths really good. Now, if you know me, you know that math is a 4-letter word for me. And especially when it comes to that 3-letter word, tax season. I guess that's more than 3 letters. It's the word tax that I was referring to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's what we're in.
So I thought that now was the perfect time, and I did not give her any opportunity to prepare for this. She was coming to see me anyway because she loves me. And we are finally just now getting to do our Christmas togetherness thing. Because I had to postpone a couple times because I'm bad. Anyway, oh, by the way, look what I got. Can you see it? Hello, gorgeous. This is what I got from my lover toes over here. So anyway, she is not only... Oh, we have Marianne from Scotland online with us.
Oh, wow.
And we have Elmo, Zara, as well as Jocelyn. She's joined us, and I think I saw that Tammy joined us. Marianne Bryce. So we have some awesome people who are on with us today. Some of them are regulars, and some of them are all over the continent, not just the continent, the world. So some of this is not going to apply to them, but they'll get to see you and see how things work here in our country. Yeah. So here's the thing. I had a tax nightmare, and it was the nightmare. It was a tax nightmare.
Yes, it was. That
lasted for 6 years.
It's the gift that keeps on giving.
6 years.
It starts.
6 years. 6 years we had this tax master words are hard.
Yes.
Tax nightmare. And I had my 2013 taxes. We had to do them 4 times. And we paid for them to be done 4 times, and the IRS ended up doing our taxes the last time. So we lost a lot of money because one of our W-2s came up missing. And it was a small one. It wasn't like it was like a major thing. But because of that, we got behind, and then we got further behind, and then we got further behind, and then we got further behind. So it was like by 2018, we still hadn't resolved our 2013 taxes, and we had not filed anything. It was a nightmare. We kept getting extensions. We kept going through accountants and tax advisors. And there are no words to describe the amount of stress that was involved with fighting with the IRS and trying to get somebody who would do our taxes. And it got to the point where nobody would even talk to us. We finally found an accountant, and not only did we have to pay him for all of those years to do our taxes, but we ended up owing thousands and thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars that we just didn't have. I do believe in my heart that he did them incorrectly because I was self-employed and he didn't do them right. So last year, I decided that things were going to be different. And Helena and I had been friends for quite some time.
Yes.
And I was not technically in charge of who got to do my taxes. My mom always did my taxes, and so when she decided who did my taxes, that's what happened, and it just nightmare snowball.
It escalated.
Quickly. And forgive me, I do not have my phone plugged in, so bear with me. I'm gonna plug this in. There we go. I hope that's charging. Last time I did this, I didn't have it charging the whole time. I was like, ah. So anyway, so eventually we got Helena in last year, literally at the last minute to file my taxes. And not only did she come through like a champion, and I mean champion, she also got us money back, y'all.
Well, you know.
Money back. So we actually didn't have to pay last year, which after the devastation that we had last year with all my surgeries and the house flooding twice, we were seriously contemplating how we were going to survive if we had to pay another several $1,000s to the government for what we were considering. We were considered, as far as we were concerned, we were nearly homeless. So Helena came in, she rescued us. And so I wanted to kind of introduce you to her because she's not just a tax. I'm going to butcher this. You told me I call her an accountant, but that is not correct.
I'm an enrolled agent, and that is a person who can represent taxpayers before the IRS, just like a CPA, just like a tax attorney. And to get that designation, I got to take 2.5 days of tests at the IRS, and I passed.
Because she's a mather. So we have Pauline from Great Britain who has joined us today. And we also have Vicki. Vicki Cyphers has joined us. Hi, Vicki.
Hi, Vicki.
So we have some actual friends online that you know and
right.
love and trust. So
absolutely.
So Marianne Bryce has joined us. So if you're joining us now, please like and share our video so that other people can jump on board and let them know that we are here to help them out this season. So before we jump into the whole tax thing, if you don't mind,
Sure.
Like I told y'all, I did not prepare her for this in any way, shape, or form. She was planning.
It was a surprise.
She was planning on coming over. I texted her on the way over here, and I said, "Hey, what do you think about going live with me when you get here?" And she's like, "Okay, let's do it."
But I got to go home and get something.
So that was the extent of her preparedness. That's all she had to prepare. About 5 minutes preparation time. Does that sound about right?
And that was driving.
Yeah, so there you go. You're welcome. You're welcome.
I can always count on you, Jen, always.
So here's some things that I want to share with you. Not only is Helena, I'm just going to say you're an accountant. I don't know what the other thing was.
That's fine.
But you have a little story to tell about once upon a time in a plane.
Oh, the one I was telling you earlier?
Well, there's some things that led up to that about planes that you had told me a couple months ago at one of our networking meetings. You told all of us about.
Oh, yeah.
So I think that it's something that is very cool, and you guys might want to check this out. How freaking cool my friend Helena is.
Well, it's been a ways back, probably 30 years now. My husband and I had gone up flying in a small plane with a friend. And it was shortly after I had seen on That's Incredible, if you remember that show with John Davidson, about this woman was in the plane with her husband and he slumped over the yoke, aka steering wheel in a car, but a yoke in an airplane. And unfortunately, he had passed away. He had a fatal heart attack.
And you were in there?
No, this was something I saw on television.
Oh, okay.
I just didn't want to be in there.
Okay, gotcha.
So, this woman was telling the story about how she decided, well, he's obviously gone, and I don't want to go on without him, so I'm just going to let the plane do what it does.
Wow.
Wait a minute. I've got 2 sons down on the ground. Who's going to take care of them? What am I going to do? So she picked up the microphone and said, I'm in trouble and I need help. And a flight instructor heard that call come in, got in his airplane, and miraculously found her in the air. They're flying side by side, her in her plane, he in his. Then he got her to the airport, told her what she had to do to land the plane. It wasn't a squeaker, but she came to a roll and the plane was not damaged and she was okay. All planes will eventually come down. It's just the condition at the end of the roll that you are concerned about. Sometimes they end up not so good. We've seen those on TV when, you know, how many people didn't make it and so forth. And others that do make it, and we don't see those on the news because that's not news. That's standard procedure. So I have a pilot's license. I took a pinch hitter course so that if I had been in that position with my husband wanting to fly bigger, better, faster, all the big stuff, what would I do? Because I don't know how to fly an airplane. Now I do, but then I didn't. So I took the pinch hitter course and went on to get my pilot's license, and it was absolutely a fabulous experience. I loved it. I love to fly. We've gone a lot of places for vacation, and I was telling Jen about one of the places I went to, and she got a little bit excited because it's where Christopher Reeve filmed that Somewhere in Time movie, you know, Mackinac Island. I landed a plane on that island. We got in the little horse-drawn carriage and we went into town, and it was so many years ago. It was before Mackinac had become a tourist attraction.
All I know is that I've not been there. And
she needs to go.
And not only did she go, she's flown there herself and landed the plane. I am jealous on so many daggone levels, I cannot even stand it. So not only are you a superhero math hero person, you're also a pilot.
Yeah.
And can, like, fly people, okay? So you're like a superhero all in this little tiny body over here.
Goodness, I never thought of myself as a superhero.
Well,
but
I see you as a superhero.
over here is, so, you know.
Oh, Donna and Vicky had their first kiss on Mackinac.
Ah!
So everybody's been there but me? Y'all listen, let me tell you something, okay? That is where my husband, Christopher Reeve, that he stayed there because he did Somewhere in Time there. And I was not there, and I have not been there. And I think that it's rude that anybody else has been there, and I have not.
Well, story about Christopher Reeve. There are no cars on this island.
I know that.
Even today, except when they were filming that movie, there was a little blue sports car that Christopher Reeve tooled around there in. So he's the only one to have been on that island in a car.
That's my husband.
That's
That's
him.
my husband.
Yeah.
So tell me something. You've been doing this for a couple minutes. You've been doing taxes for a couple of minutes.
More years than I really care to fess up to. I started doing taxes the very first year was 1986. And if you've been listening to the news, 1986 was when the biggest tax reform had ever happened in the tax arena since they started taxing in 1913. And it was...
How many years is that? I was trying to math it and I couldn't. Is that like 34?
My business has been around since 89 because a friend of mine told me, she said, you could charge money for helping people with their taxes. And she was right. It was great. Anyway.
That is true. Because people don't want to do it.
No.
Because it's evil.
No.
And it's horrible.
I don't know that it's
And it's
evil.
hard and it's scary and it makes people angry. So here's the thing, y'all.
True.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. There are two things that I will go from 0 to bat guano cray cray. Okay? Bat guano cray cray. And that's technology and that's math. Okay? Money. Anything to do with money. Money issues of when we're talking money, I lose my mind because I have this much patience and I cannot deal. I will not, I cannot function on any level when it comes to those two things. So I pay people to do those things for me. And I still get very frustrated. And the people who know me know how to talk to me when I'm dealing with those two things. They're very patient with me. Very, 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 very patient with me. I mean, they have to have the patience of God to deal with me. I'm just going to put that out there.
She's not that bad.
I am. You've never dealt with me at the technology part. Vicky has, and my friend Catherine has. Oh my gosh. I'll be like screaming, what do you mean this isn't good? Stop doing it. And they're like, Jen, listen, honey, it's okay. You just need to do this. And I'm like, no, that's not what's going to happen. I already did that. And they're like, no, really, look. And I'm like, rude.
Yeah.
So when you came over here and I literally handed her like 5,000 piles of paperwork. And I said, here, I don't even want to look at it. I don't even want to deal with it. I don't want anything. I'm done. Don't let your final words in life be I wish. I don't know what that means. But that's my father. She's lucky technology doesn't literally bite. Seriously, Vicky. Seriously. You of all people understand that. Anyway, it took her and my mom and me several weeks. And she did it in very small steps with me. Baby steps. It was almost to the point I'm like, are we going to do something more or are we done? And she's like, no, we're fine. And then she'd come back and she's just like, I'm just going to come and visit you. This is what we're going to do. And then we talk taxes for about 5 minutes. And then we talk everything else. And then it was done. And it was like she was visiting me. So it was okay. You know what I'm saying? And it was I have never had a no stress tax thing in my life. And then to actually get money back from it, I was just like,
yeah, you could watch everything kind of went, oh, really?
yes.
For real?
And that's exactly what happened. And she handed me all these pages to look at, and I'm like, I don't even know what these are.
I said, sign here.
That's exactly what, and Sean needs to sign here. And I'm like, so how much money are we paying this year? And she's like, oh no, you're getting money back. I'm like, what? So it pays to have somebody who does your taxes, who actually cares about you, who doesn't look at you as a number, who actually knows enough about you to look a little bit deeper and find who you are to make it work for you. Okay, and that's what she's done. So with all of that, I've given her a big, huge, like, this is who you are kind of thing.
Okay.
So can you give us, I know a lot of things have changed this year as far as our taxes are concerned. Now, I was told last year that, that we were going to be getting bigger tax breaks this year due to our presidency. And then this year I've noticed that the people who've already filled out their taxes are actually paying more. And I'm wondering if maybe there's something that they're missing, or maybe you have some ideas, or you know, what is important for us to know going into filing this tax season? We can't even file until February 28th, right?
No, the starting filing date was January 28th.
But we were on lockdown.
No, they opened it up January 28th. And you could electronically file your return. However, if I told you that every state is set to go and everything is perfect, you could look at me and say, liar, liar, pants on fire. No, it isn't. And that would be true. For instance, New York has a problem where people have to go and register online, so when they get it squared away, they will get an email saying, okay, now try. I haven't heard anything like that about Ohio, because I know Vicki lives in Ohio, and I regretfully don't know where the other people on this call are living. I know England, you don't have to worry about it. I don't know about yours, you don't know about mine, so hey, we're good to go. One thing that did happen, and many people heard about it, well, this year we have a postcard size form. How hard can it be? I am going to try to hold this up.
It's still an actual paper, you all. It's
well,
not a postcard.
This is not a postcard, but I don't know if they're sending out postcards, but I printed this off of my computer. And it is, when you look at it, a large postcard. And if you look, I don't know if you can read it, this is literally asking your name, your social, you have any kids, sign here. That's page 1.
Just page 1?
Well, it doesn't even want to know if I've earned any money. How am I going to pay tax on that? Anybody on this call know Paul Harvey? The rest of the story, page 2.
Is that on the back of it?
This is the second page of it. I haven't seen an actual postcard. And this is one where you have your wages, interest, dividends, Social Security. Well, I'm self-employed. I get off scot-free this year. Not so fast. Everything that used to be on page 1 of the old form, the long form, you know, the real long one.
The one that's 20 pages.
The one that can be 20 pages. Well, now everything has a schedule. Well, let's see. I sold stock. I had stock that I sold, and, well, part of the year they had to give me unemployment because I lost my job. But I went to the casino and I won money there. So I got a prize. And, well, how about my student loans that I had to pay? I'm not going to be able to do that anymore. What about my self-employment? Surely they're not going to let me get away without paying tax on that. You're right, they're not. You've got to do it. But that's on Schedule 1. goodness, thank goodness for that.
So what's a schedule?
A schedule is, I'm so glad you asked.
I don't know what this stuff is.
I know. This is a Schedule 1. This is a draft copy because somebody didn't give me enough time to go print all of this. So this was stuff I had at home, Jennifer. So, and I love her still. This is Schedule 1, and this is where you start talking about additional income. If you've got refunds because you itemized, and we're going to talk about that in just a second. If you got that unemployment, if you've got self-employment income, all of that stuff is on Schedule 1. Now, it all flows through to the back of the postcard. Well, that's all cool.
So basically, you're sending them all your answers to your test, but you're not showing them all your work.
Well, not exactly, because if you electronically file, the IRS is going to get the postcard, and it's going to get Schedule 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6. There's 6 schedules that go with this return.
And they're all this thick. Are they all this thick?
That's the schedules.
Okay, so it's like...
Well, there's more stuff in there.
There's like 15 pages here.
Can be, because if you're self-employed, if you're doing the short form, this is what I made, and boom, here's the amount of money it cost me to make it. That's 1 page. But what about my, well, I had a lot more expenses that I really would like to let them know I'm not just making this stuff up. Well, that's 2 pages. And another thing, I've been around on this earth for a long time, and my whole entire adult life, I have itemized on my return every year, Schedule A, where what you gave to charity, your money that you paid for your property tax on your house, your medical if you've had a bad year, all of that stuff is on itemizing. And most people can't really deduct medical because unless they've had a really bad year and have spent in a lot of money, it just isn't going to work out for them.
So what is that dollar amount?
It's 7.5% of your adjusted gross income, so it's different for everybody. Yeah, you. Huh? She's not happy. She's not smiling.
I don't know what that means.
When you take all the money you've earned.
I mean, I got that. I'm just like, I don't know how much money we made. I don't know how much money my medical expenses were. All I know is there was a lot.
But you will.
Because I've got you.
That's right. Okay, so this year, the standard deduction is $12,000 for me and $12,000 for my husband. And even with new math, that adds up to $24,000.
Sorry.
That's okay. I just know you don't like that math word, and you kind of glazed over on me. You know?
I did.
You did. So, a little levity always helps. Anyway, most people are not going to have itemized $24,000 if they're married. If you are, depending on your filing status, if you do single, it's 12. If you do head of household because you've got a child, that's 18. For me, it's 24. And because I'm long in the tooth, they give me some extras because I'm old.
Do I get extras because I'm pretty?
Pretty doesn't count in this case.
I think that it should.
Well, if it did, you would have triple $12,000. Yes, okay. Indeed. Totally, okay, indeed. So a lot of people who used to itemize aren't going to this year. And for folks out there who are raising children, on the second or on the return for 17, we got $4,050 for me and my husband. My kids are all grown, so we didn't get any personal exemptions of $4,050, but some people who had children did. I hope it was helpful to you last year, because you can tell it bye-bye, because it's gone.
I'm not getting it this year.
It's gone forever. At this point in time, am I thinking that this is going to be the way it's going to be till, I believe a lot of this stuff is set to expire in 2025. I'm not making book on that, really not. I don't think it's going to stay that way. I think there's going to be changes. Actually, there's one credit that came out this year, and the final regulations for that were published 2 weeks ago. We could start filing Monday. Wonder if the tax software knew about that in a week. Better hold off if you're self-employed to get the software companies time to catch up so that they'll do it right. Because not everything is up to snuff quite yet. Things change every day. I get new on my software. I turn it on and I look at it and it's, okay, you're up to date, because it gave me an upgrade, and I'll be doing work, and then in the upper right-hand corner of my screen comes this little red circle, and that means, something changed. Upgrade us again. So it's happening every day, multiple times.
It's better to not have already filed your taxes, because things could have changed since then.
Correct. But if you are a real eager beaver and you did it, they have an amended return, so you can always go back and change the way it should have been.
Again. So is it to the benefit at this point, or is it to the detriment?
Well, you know how whenever you talk to anybody in taxes, their favorite words are, it depends.
I've noticed that a lot with you.
That depends too, because they're changing every day and they're upgrading. In a normal tax year, maybe 100, 150 forms change. This year, 457 forms changed. Oh, and there was this thing called a shutdown? Were they working and getting stuff accomplished? No. Shutdown means they weren't there. So that's why I'm thinking if you haven't filed yet, you don't get any special points for filing early, and it might be to your disadvantage. You might want to give them just a little bit more time to make sure that all the changes are in the software.
So it's a good thing that I didn't have all my paperwork for you when you came in today.
Oh, Jennifer, everything you do is a good thing. What are you talking about? She knows I love her.
She puts up with me really well, y'all. So what is the most important thing that people need to know today about their taxes before they file them?
Okay, things that you used to be able to deduct are kind of by the wayside, like that exemption for you, your husband, your children. No dogs or cats, just children. Even though cats are like children to a lot of folks, you can't deduct it for them, even though you name them Sally, Sue. If they don't have a Social Security number, you're kind of out of luck. So that went away. My suggestion to people, if you've always itemized in the past, and you say, well, heck, last year when I itemized, the person that did my taxes said, you're really right on the cusp of not really needing to itemize the standard deductions better. If they said that to you in 17, you can bet your boots it is the case in 18. So don't drive yourself crazy saying, oh, well, you know, I took stuff to Goodwill, I donated to church, I donated my time at the hospital, and I know there's this mileage I can take. If you want to drive yourself crazy, that's the way to do it. If you didn't do a bunch of it, my advice is just kind of do a thumbnail. Oh yeah, I might be over 24,000. I might be over 12,000 if you're a single person. And then if you look at 17 and you had $6,000 on itemizing, don't drive yourself crazy.
Can I ask you a really stupid question?
There is no such thing as a stupid question.
When you say you have 12,000 for you and 12,000 for your husband,
Yeah.
what does that mean?
That
I get
is-
$12,000 back, or that's my allowance that I can live on?
No to both.
Okay.
The $12,000 is the standard deduction that is replacing the itemized deduction. Now, don't glaze over. It takes all the money that you earned, the bottom line of all the money you earned. Did you ever watch the Beverly Hillbillies?
With the
Did you-
cement ponds?
The cement pond and the gazentas that Jethro used to have so much trouble with, 2 gazenta 4, 2 times that one. Well, the gazentas are, in this case, you have everything you earned, and then you have what did it cost me to earn it, and the standard deduction now is replacing the itemized deduction. So the standard deduction is the gazentas.
So if I made $24,000 last year, $12,000 goes into that twice. So what does that mean?
You don't owe any taxes.
And if I made 3 times that?
You might want to file.
And if I made 4 times that?
You really might want to file.
And what happens when I do that? Am I going to have to pay a lot of money?
It depends on what the number is.
Damn it, you're
I know
depend.
it. There's
We're gonna
my
have to get-
depends.
You're going to have to get some panty liners. Depends.
Well, some of us have already discovered those, I'm sure. It just, you need to take a look at it, and you can't make a rule and say, okay, here's the rule, everybody do it. Because everybody's a somebody, and this somebody is going to be different from that somebody, from this other somebody. So you need to look at what you've got before you make a rash decision of, well, that's what I'm going to do.
So do you think that it's better? I feel like, if you're self-employed, you pretty much have to have somebody do your taxes for you. Doing it yourself, unless you are an accountant, is probably going to work against you. Does that sound correct?
That sounds correct, because if you, one of my weaknesses in life is office supply stores. And I go in and I buy pens. Do I need any more pens? No. Do I need any more pencils? Definitely not.
You always need more pens.
Does that stop me from going in and buying them? No. Now, if I get out of my car and I run in because I'm coming over to Jennifer's and I forgot to bring a pad of paper, and I am thinking that Jennifer's going to have tax information for me, I don't trust my memory. I want to write it down so I have a record of what she told me. She saved me from that today. And I brought my paper just in case. However, if on the way over here I look at my seat in my car and I say, oh man, I forgot a pencil and paper, and I run into Staples and I buy a pencil, and you can't buy a pencil, you got to buy a package of pencils and a package of paper, and I've got that, and I paid cash for it instead of putting it on my company credit card. Am I going to remember that I did that? Probably not this afternoon when I get home, much less when I'm getting ready to file my taxes. I have a note for you that works out really well, and I know it even works out for people who don't like to do it. I have this really fail-safe method if you'll use it. Go to the grocery store, or if Staples sells Ziploc bags, buy a box of Ziploc bags. And you take one out and put it under the seat of your car. And when you run in to get that pencil and that paper, because you're going to a client's, you get that CD because you're going to film something and you forgot to bring an extra CD. You forgot to bring a battery. And what if your light goes out on your who's-he what's it that you got to have to film whatever it is you're doing? And you say, oh, okay, well, I've got cash, so I'm going to pay that. Take the receipt. You know where you got it. You know what date you got it. Write on there, Jennifer, tax discussion, ha, and put it in the plastic bag and put it under your seat. If you're going to have a lot of receipts, get the gallon size, not so much sandwich size. So put it under there, and that way, when it comes time to gather everything you've got to gather for your tax person to give you a complete and accurate return, you've got the receipts. Easy peasy.
And I will be honest, I have not done the Ziploc baggie in my car because I'm not driving right now.
Right.
But what I do is when they ask me if I want the receipt in the bag or with me, I always say with me, and I put it in my wallet. When I get home, I pull out all the receipts and I'm like, this was for this, this was for this, this was for this, and I write it down on the receipts. And then I have a separate box that that Helena specifically told me to do this, and in it has a Ziploc baggie.
Yes,
it does. So every time I get a receipt, I write down what it's for and I put it into that box, and then like she kind of looked at it a couple times and she's like, you don't need these receipts, we're going to put these over here, you're going to put these receipts over here, and the important ones went into the Ziploc baggie. So I at least have gotten to that point where I'm very much more aware of what my receipts are for, instead of just, I went to Kroger's and bought all this food. Why did you buy all that food? Well, maybe it was a party. Why would you have a party? Maybe because I had some business associates over. Well, that's important to know because that's deductible. So those things are things that I have been at least trying to make more, hey, I did this. This is important, that this was for this photo shoot. This was for this event. This was for this. And because I have a hodgepodge of businesses, I've really had to learn to differentiate what each receipt is for, because otherwise it just looks like I'm a crazy person with all these random receipts and that I just buy a lot of stuff. I really do that. But it makes me not look quite so cray-cray.
Never. She's never cray-cray. Anyway, why is it so important for me to know about those receipts? It isn't important for me at all. I don't need to see them. If you tell me, Jennifer, that these are what my receipts totaled, I'm going to believe you. And then I say, now, you do have copies of these receipts, right? And she says, yes, I do. And she holds up the bag, and I see them there. I don't really care to see the receipts. But they're important because the fact that I don't need to see them is not the important issue here.
It's the government.
The IRS wants to see them if you ever get audited. And you know how everybody's going paperless, right? Well, the IRS is not everybody. There's somebody, and they are not going paperless, and they want to see paper. And if you can't provide them paper, they disallow that expense. Therefore, you will pay more tax. So it's not that I particularly am interested in seeing them, but since the IRS is interested in seeing them, it's to your benefit to keep them.
So what you're saying is you don't care what I'm spending my money on.
Nope.
You're not going to go through there and say, oh, she bought some crazy stuff over here. What's she doing? Because you don't care. The IRS cares.
The IRS will care because...
But you don't care.
Using your grocery store receipt. let's say that she had milk and bread, and I don't know if you eat those things, and I know, gluten and all that stuff. Oh, and cookies. You got to have cookies. And you have ice cream, and you just have all kinds of a roast. Excuse me, that you bought in the meat department. And the IRS would take a look at it. What do you think they might say?
This is a grocery bill. This is groceries. This isn't for anything.
This is your weekly groceries. Why are you writing it off? But because Jennifer is so good about writing on there, I had a photo shoot and I provided the food for the models at the photo shoot. She would definitely condense all of that and write something on there that means something to you. The fact that I look at it and it has DIN, HP, TX, I know what that means. The IRS is going to ask you possibly about that. Write it in shorthand so that you can answer any questions they would ask. That's important. If you don't come away with anything else, you're keeping these books for the IRS. And the IRS is people just like us. Granted, they're very powerful people, and they can do us harm. Not bodily, but they can financially do us some damage there. So it's good for you to keep good records so that if the unfortunate happenstance that you get audited comes about, you will have the upper hand because you have got the answers that they're going to ask you for. And then you'll come out ahead.
Those are some great ideas. Thank you so much, Helena.
Sure.
Are you taking on new clients at this time?
Always.
Okay. Would you mind sharing your website or your contact information if any Ohio people are watching and they would like to get in contact with you?
Sure. I'm not sure if my website is up. It's had an issue lately. So could I give them my email?
Whatever you prefer, however you want to be contacted.
Okay. Wish I could give you my website. I do have one, but I understand it's sick.
See, it's because it's technology.
And I don't know how to fix it. I can't make it well. My website is, if it's working, www. Okay, you want to show them? There it is. Can you see that with the green with the white? I'm a green person. I love it. Is it coming across to where they can see it, Jennifer?
Yep.
Okay. And my email address is my name, Helena B. Perry @gmail.com.
So we'll add that into the page.
And to the lady that's watching from England, there is a lady in England that has Helena Perry @gmail.com, and she's getting my emails, and she doesn't talk to me. And she lives in London, England, and one day I want to go meet her. I'm sure I'll like her a lot.
So I have a question for you, Helena.
Sure.
I think I know the answer to this one. If a person's only income is derived from Social Security, be it Social Security disability or Social Security assistance, I understand that it's not taxable, but is there any sense of doing a return in hope of getting a refund? Now, I was told that if that's your only source of income, that is not taxable, so you do not need to do a return because you will not receive anything one way or the other. Is that correct?
That's correct.
I knew an answer.
Yay, girl. Our happy dance. If you have Social Security or disability, and you have children, and unfortunately there are young people who do have disabilities and whatnot, you might want to just check it out, and you can go to the IRS website and
or you
just
can call Helena.
That too. But you can do it yourself if you want to just go to the IRS website, put in Your Social Security is going to come back. You don't know anything, but you'll feel better about it because what an accomplishment. You checked out your own taxes. I'm proud of you.
All right. So if you guys don't have any other questions, we're going to have, I'll put Helena's contact information in either the information above the video or in one of the comments so that you can have her contact information. It all depends on where Facebook allows me to do things sometimes. It just depends. It's weird. So I want to thank Helena for coming on here at no notice whatsoever. None. And joining us here on the Menopausal View. Please like and share our video. We will also be putting this on YouTube. So please note that we have to have 100 followers on YouTube in order for us to do absolutely anything. And we have all of our followers here on Facebook, and we don't have any of them on YouTube. So please take a moment right now to go to YouTube, and it's still the Menopausal View. Like our, follow our YouTube page, like some of our videos, make a few comments, share some of our videos. Really help us get that out there. Also later on today, Jocelyn will be joining us and joining me. Yay! The team will be back together, and we will be announcing our winner of the Alta gift certificate for reaching 2,000 likes on Facebook. And we apologize for not getting to this sooner, but our likes went from like 1,500 to like almost 4,000 likes in like a week. So we've just kind of been trying to keep track of everything, and everybody who's liked our page so far is going to be put into the drawing. We are looking at different ways that we can take care of our current followers and get new ones involved. Currently right now, we are still looking for sponsors. We are doing all of this out of our own pocket. So we would love to have some sponsors. So if you know anyone who's interested in sponsoring us in any way, shape, or form, please have them get in contact with us. And since we are in just about every country right now, and we have followers in just about every country, and we are going ballistic on the followers, whoever advertises with us basically can reach every continent in the world and basically have some kind of interaction there. So it behooves you to be part of our team. So thank you so much for joining us, and we love you, and Jocelyn and I will be back later today, and I have absolutely no idea what we've got on tap. I might have a little idea, but I'm not going to tell you. We've been kind of hinting at it, what we're going to be talking about, but you know, you know how we are. We'll start one subject and we'll end on 400 different ones, because that's just how we roll. So anyway, thank you so much for joining us. We love you. Stay fabulous.
Bye.